What's up, everybody? The Washington Wizards lose a really close game in overtime in LA, the city of angels, 134 to 131. So I'm going to recap the Lakers' loss, preview the LA Clippers game tonight, and we're going to roll like we always do next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's really good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 and bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And again, we are going to recap last night's game. Again, I wanted to say my bad, y'all. Usually we go live after games unless it's like a family emergency, or one of us are sick. My daughter had a 101-degree fever, man. So I I didn't know if I had to go to the ER, man. So I definitely made that call, man. And like I said, my bad. So we definitely I'm going to do a recap for the Lakers game from last night. And I'm going to preview tonight's game against the Clippers. And obviously, we're going to go live on Sunday to recap the Clippers game. Me and my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And we're going to go live on Monday following the Utah Jazz game. So definitely rock with me. So again, the Washington Wizards lose last night. A really close game in LA against the Los Angeles Lakers. 134 to 131 in overtime. So let's get into it. Looking from a team stat perspective, how did we lose this game? Very close game. And then, both me and Ed said that we wanted them to play tough. We want this team to play to win, and they have done so. Following the All-Star break, following the trade deadline, every game they've played have been close. They've been fighting hard, with the exception of one game. So they fought hard last night, man, against the Lakers. I mean, if you look at the stat line kind of against each other, I mean, field goal percentage was right. They shot 52, we shot 51. From three, we shot 41.5% as opposed to their 34%. So we were money on the perimeter. Looking at free throws, obviously, look, when you're in LA, they're going to get a lot of calls. And you saw that they got a lot of calls. And I'm not saying that this loss is on the officiating. But I mean, if you look at it, we went to the free throw line 12 times as opposed to the 24 times. So that was a difference, but that wasn't the difference, if you know what I'm saying. Rebounds, we were even. We actually out-rebounded them off as far as offensive rebounds 10-7. So assists, we beat them 35-30. So it was a good game. But to me, the one factor, there's two factors why we lost this game. Obviously, interior defense has been an issue all year long. They outscored us in the paint 82-62, which was a big factor. Turnovers, we out-turnovered them, if that's a word, 15-11. So turnovers really bit us, especially in the fourth quarter, in clutch time. And we're going to talk about clutch time in a minute when it comes to the last shot by Kyle Kuzma. But let's get into some of the team stats. So we're going to start with the first unit. And like I said, this was a really good game. They fought hard. They fought hard the whole game. I mean, the first half, we went into halftime with the lead. And I was very impressed with this team, man. I mean, we fought hard against the team, which I'm not going to sit here and call them a contender yet, because I mean they're currently 10th in the West, so they're fighting for a playing spot. But LeBron James, I'm not going to get into the whole GOAT debate, but he's definitely a guy. He's a generational talent that look he can drop 25-30 a night. At his age, man. I mean, I'm 38, so I mean, it's good to see an old fella out there eating, man. But looking at the first new guys, starting with our point guard, Tyus Jones, 8 points, 1 rebound, but 11 assists. He continues to put up really impressive assist numbers, especially when you look at assist to turnover ratio. He continues to impress. He is posting elite numbers at the point guard position when it comes to assist to turnover ratio. 2 steals. So Tyus, decent night. Vanjie Shamit, 16 minutes starting at the 2 guard, 4 points, shooting 2 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. He's taken right now he's a kind of a fill-in starter. Obviously, he's not the guy going forward as far as starting at the 2 guard, and he shows his consistency has been kind of up and down. So Landry Shamet obviously is not the answer long term, but he's the guy right now at the 2 guard, and yeah, you can say underwhelming, inconsistent, yeah, but we know what he can do. He's definitely a sniper. He's definitely a guy who can score, high basketball IQ. So, but obviously not the long term answer at the 2 guard, but very underwhelming night for Landry Shamet. Let's talk about Turbo. 43 minutes played, 15 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 5 for 10 for the field. So he was efficient. 3 for 5 from 3. Turbo looked good. 1 steal. So Turbo looked good. In 43 minutes, he looked good. He really did. 5 assists away from a triple double. Very efficient. He continues to break out. He continues to impress offensively. And to me, this was a good performance. 15 points, 15 boards, getting in there, getting rebounds. I mean, he continues to impress me. He continues to impress a lot of people offensively because that was the one step he needed to take. Denny, defensively, he's always been a really good defender. Now, offensively, watching him put these type of numbers up, and I said it myself, man. I said that I wanted him to be a 15 point a night guy to maybe the ceiling being 20 points a night. And 15 points is, look, I'll take that. I like what I see from Denny. Kyle Kuzma. Obviously, this is kind of I want to say a homecoming game because he's from Flint, Michigan. But winning a championship and being drafted and starting out the LA Lakers, his relationship with the Lakers, I thought he was definitely going to come to play. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 7 for 16 for the field, 4 for 8 from 3. So he did better from an efficiency standpoint. I like the performance. I mean, obviously that last shot. I felt like they, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I felt like they should have drawn up a play. The step back 3, I felt like it was in haste. I feel like they could have done better as far as strategizing that last shot because I feel like we had a chance to maybe sit into double overtime. And I felt like that was just the wrong shot selection in that situation. And I feel like, again, there should have been a play call. There should have been a lot more strategy involved when it comes to that last shot because I felt like we had a chance to get in double overtime. And I felt like if we would have went into double overtime, we had a chance to possibly win this game. Obviously, that would have made us 10 and 48, or 49. So we're obviously, it's not a game that's going to propel us into the playoffs, but we'll take culture wins. A win where this team's fighting hard. So go back to Kuz, man. I like the performance. 20 points, 10 rebounds, getting those boards, 3 blocks. Defensively, he did his thing. 3 blocks, 1 steal, only 2 turnovers. So good performance from Kyle Kuzma, being a leader on the first unit. And ending it with Marvin Bagley III, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 11-14 from the field, and he made his 1 3-point attempt. Look, Marvin Bagley, that trade with the Detroit Pistons to me was a really good move because, look, the Detroit Pistons went ahead and waived Mike Muscala and Danilo Gallinari anyways. So we were able to get draft compensation. We were able to get Marvin Bagley III, who's still young, who has shown that in the right system, in the right situation, can thrive. And so he's doing that in DC. I love what I see from Marvin Bagley III, man. I'm very intrigued to see what he can do in the full season here in the nation's cap, man, because he has definitely rebounded his career in DC, in my opinion. He is, because I was always a fan. I know Ed has always been a fan of his, man, going back to his days at Duke. He's a guy who can provide interior offense, better off, he better defensively than a lot of people give him credit for. Now, he's not a guy who's going to go out there and post extreme numbers defensively, but he holds his own, at 6'11". But to me, the biggest thing with Marvin Bagley III is his points in the interior and his ability to stretch the floor, which we didn't have with Daniel Gafford. And I'm a big Daniel Gafford fan, and I definitely would have wished him well in Dallas, man. But he ain't a Wiz no more, so let's talk about the Wizards Center. So Marvin Bagley III, definitely had a really, really good night. So this starting 5, obviously Shamet struggled in 16 minutes. And obviously he's a spot starter, but I'm definitely looking for more from him from the 4 points. But Denny, Kyle Kuzma, and Marvin Bagley III, from a score standpoint, did well, and especially rebounding. If you look at Kyle Kuzma, 10 rebounds, and Denny Avila, aka Turbo, 15 rebounds. So they did well. They played really well. And Tyus Jones, obviously, his assist numbers are just continuing to impress. And 8 points is right around 8 to 10, maybe 12 points is what I'm looking for from Tyus. You're not going to get a lot of points, but to me, the biggest asset that he provides is his assist to turnover ratio. He is posting really good numbers from an assist standpoint, and he continues to be that floor general that we know that he is, man. Not a flashy point guard. He's not in the mold of John Wall or Russell Westbrook, but he's a guy that comes in, he shows up, and he does his job and does it well. So impressive numbers from the first unit. So we are going to get into the second unit and their stat line. But before we do, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get $150 and bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins, obviously. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams like the Washington Wizards, right? With quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and more. So, look, all you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Basketball Association. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now is also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. So let's get into the second unit. And as much praise as I gave the first unit, the second unit came to play. And like I said, this was a really, really good, I'm not going to say good loss. I mean, no loss is really good, right? But, I mean, the biggest thing, guys, is that, and I'm going to throw this out there. I noticed that a lot of you guys were not in favor of me and E's, how we reacted to the media grading the Wizards. And I get it, man. Looking at it, we're 9-50. And I get it. It's easy to give them an F. D+. I totally get it, man. And like I said, a lot of you guys, 99.9% of you guys were respectful, and I love you guys, man. We dialogue on here, we chop it up. We don't always agree, but we definitely appreciate you guys, man, and being honest and being able to dialogue and talk sports with us, man. And a big reason why I gave them that grade of a C- or a C+ or a B-, not the record, not Jordan Poole, is that the young guys evolving, man. Which coming into the season, both me and E said that you can't judge the season based off wins and losses. You can't, because obviously as an F, we're terrible. We're probably going to end up getting the first overall pick. You got to base it off how these young guys evolve. And that's why I kind of gave him that grade, because Denny Avdia, he's finally doing what we expected him to do as far as offensively. He's breaking out. He's becoming a threat offensively, and you got to give somewhat of a boost in grade because of that. Corey Kispert, to him, is defensively. He's definitely putting a lot more effort, a lot more into the defensive side of the ball. And I think that definitely warrants a little bit of a boost. Bilal Coulibaly, he's not as raw as we thought he was offensively, even though he does need work. So obviously, Jordan Poole with his saga, but I think that, that's why I graded it. And that's kind of where I'm going to slide into looking into the second unit, man. Let's start with my man, Corey Kispert. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 8 for 15 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and he showed that effort on the defensive end. I mean, offensively, that he's that sniper. He's a guy who can cut to the basket, drive to the basket, high basketball IQ. He's definitely worked on his ball handling, his ability to put the ball on the floor and create for himself. He has definitely evolved also. And I think that, obviously it's really cool to see Denny Avdia evolve and develop and finally break out offensively. But Corey Kispert has become more of a complete player. And I think that we have to put a lot more respect on his name as far as he's breaking out too. So he looked good against the Lakers. I mean, he came out, provided 20 points and 6 rebounds, 6 assists, solid numbers on the second unit. Jordan Poole, 38 minutes played, 34 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 for 12 from 3, 13 from 26 overall. Now, I guess you can't really hit him on efficiency, right? Because he shot 13 for 26. So he shot 50%. So, look, I don't know if the Lakers pissed him off, but he definitely showed up. And it really leads to this next point, guys. I think that the second unit tandem of Jordan Poole and Corey Kispert are really good 1-2 punch on the Wizards bench, because they showed it, man. I mean, Jordan Poole and Corey Kispert, when they work in tandem with each other, man, they are a heck of a 1-2 punch on the second unit. And I think that, obviously that move to put Jordan Poole on the bench was a really good move. I advocated for it for a while. At the trade deadline, I said, look, after the trade deadline, you need to move him to the bench because that's his best role. He was a 6-man in Golden State. Yes, he started when Stephen Curry went out, but he's a 6-man. He's that guy who, he's got to be that guy on the second unit. to dictate the pace. And when him and Corey Kispert together as a 1-2 punch on that second unit, they're money, man. They are money, and they look good. They looked good last night. And I guess rounding out the second unit, two more names. I'm just going to go ahead. Rashawn Holmes, 13 minutes played, but 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 for 4 from the field. So he's not going to wow you, but he's definitely going to provide quality minutes as the backup center behind Marvin Bagley III. And, he's played well. Now, he's not going to wow you. He's not putting, extreme numbers out there, but he's coming in and he's doing his job. Now, you do want him to show a lot more intensity as far as interior defense, but he is, he's an older player now, and he is what he is at this stage in his career. He's going to give you quality minutes, but he's not going to wow you. But it's kind of like Tyus Jones. He's going to come in, he's going to do his job. So Rashawn Holmes, he came and did his job, 7 points. But let's talk about Johnny Davis, y'all. Lord have mercy. Definitely comment below. Let me know what you guys think. But Johnny Davis, man, 16 minutes played, so you got minutes. 2 rebounds, 0 for 3 from the field, and those 3 attempts were probably the ugliest attempts I've seen in a while from a player. I'm not, obviously you don't pull the plug right now. You have the whole second half of the season, so you definitely continue to give him consistent minutes, and hopefully he figures it out and contributes. But at this point, man, you have to strongly consider in the offseason maybe waiving him. I mean, me and E, we said it before that there are a lot of examples of where young guys have been waived. I mean, James Bouknight is an example. He brought that example up. Johnny Davis, you have to waive him. I mean, because at this point, we're not gonna play the blame game of who's wrong, who why is he messed up, who messed his shot up. We're not gonna get into all that. Straight up, he's not producing. He's been getting minutes. Interim head coach Brian Keefe has been given the minutes. He's not producing. Let's call it like it is. We missed on that pick. And we had to definitely explore waiving him and clearing that roster space for whoever we draft in this upcoming draft, because he ain't it, man. He ain't it. And I don't know what his place is with this team going forward. I don't see it, because when given minutes, I mean, right now you can't use the excuse he's not getting minutes, because he's getting minutes and he's not producing. He's not it. We have to call it like it is. We have to be at 100 with the situation with Johnny Davis. We missed that pick. And like I said, I'm not going to get into the blame game. Is it the organization's fault? Is it Tommy Shepard? Is it the coaching staff? Is it the development staff? Is it Johnny? Is it Capital City Go-Go? I'm not going to get into the blame game, but, he just ain't it. We need to call it like it is. Definitely give him to the rest of the season, and hopefully he can find who he is as a player. But right now, I think that we need to end up waiving him, and his roster spot needs to be reserved for whoever young. Because we have 3 picks coming up in this upcoming draft. We need that roster spot. If he's not going to perform, we need that roster spot, and that's kind of where I'm at, guys. It's unfortunate, but Johnny Davis just ain't it. And I think that we can all agree it's unfortunate, but he just ain't it. And that's all I'm going to say. It's just he has not performed, and I think that you definitely have to consider moving him. He has no trade value, so you can't necessarily move him, but you have to waive him and see if he can get an opportunity elsewhere. Hopefully, he gets picked up by a rebuilding team who wants to try to develop him and get him right. But I don't see it in DC, guys. I don't see it. So like I said, I think that to a certain degree, you gotta get to the point where you cut sling load and just admit that we missed on this pick. So we're gonna get into the preview for tonight's game against the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and company. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So you're wondering, right? What is PrizePicks? Well, I'm gonna tell you, PrizePicks is America's number one fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. I'm a member. I'm a big fan of PrizePicks, man, because they are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than with 2 to 6 players and their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Like, for example, I did a bet last night where it was over 10 assists for Tyus Jones, and it was 22 plus points for Kyle Kuzma, man. I went over on 22 for Kyle Kuzma, and he barely missed, man. I think he was off by 2 points, but Tyus Jones got 11 assists, so he hooked me out on that, man. And also, don't judge me, but I actually put over 25 points for LeBron James, and he definitely hit that, man. So I definitely hit my picks last night for PrizePicks. But It's demon time with PrizePicks. You can now win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Woo! Demons and goblins are the newest and most exciting way to play at PrizePicks. Squares marked with red demons or green goblins get you different payouts. You can now win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. And I've been rolling, y'all, so I definitely recommend you guys do that. So all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. And again, all you guys have to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. All right, let's get into it, guys. So we're going to do a preview for tonight's game against the Clippers because it's a back-to-back in LA. So let's get into it. The LA Clippers, and I'm not going to get into the stats because we know we're bad defensively, we're bad rebounding, and so I'm going to look at matchups, certain matchups I'm looking at. So obviously, looking at the depth chart for the Clippers, man, I mean, you got James Harden at point, Terrence Mann at 2 guard. Paul George is day-to-day, but he's been day-to-day for years. So you probably looking at him starting at the small forward position. Kawhi Leonard at the 4 and Zubac at the 5. And the 2 guys I'm looking at on their bench unit. Now, Daniel Tice is nice, and Amir Coffey can provide. But I'm looking at Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell. And that's why I say that 1-2 punch of Corey Kispert and Jordan Poole, I think that's the matchup I'm really looking at tonight, is our benches. You know, Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell versus Jordan Poole and Corey Kispert. You know, obviously Norman Powell, kind of a 3-and-D guy. He can defend, he can shoot. Russell Westbrook can defend, but his shot is not there. But I think that's a very intriguing matchup to watch, guys, is that second unit, because our second unit, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, that 1-2 punch of Jordan Poole and Corey Kispert is money, man. It's money. It's straight money. So, you know, I definitely want to see how they match up against Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell. Looking at the starting 5, man, I mean, we played the Lakers really close. Now, James Harden and Tyus Jones, I mean, here's the thing. Who do you put Denny on? Because obviously Denny is our best defender. Bilal's out, so who do you put him on? I mean, and to me, you're putting him on Paul George. Obviously, you want to put him on Paul George. But so right now, Tyus Jones has the assignment of James Harden. And look, hate him or love him, James Harden still has the ability to create for others. He's still crafty on the footwork, even though sometimes he takes 1 or 2 mini steps. But he's still crafty at this age, man. He's not that electric scorer he used to be in Houston or even Brooklyn, but he's more of that crafty vet like he was in Philly and now with his current team in LA. So, you know, Tyus Jones, man, that is definitely a matchup that, look, Tyus Jones is going to have his hands full with James Harden, man. Terrence Mann and Shamet, if Shamet starts at the 2 guard, man, that's going to be intriguing. But the biggest matchup I'm looking for really on the starting 5, I mean, Bagley and Zubac, man, but I think Bagley can hold his own. Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Kuzma and Paul George and Denny are really key matchups for us tonight, man, because if Denny can, I'm not going to say put the clamps on Paul George, because Paul George is going to eat regardless. He's one of those players in this league that regardless, he's going to eat. But I definitely want to see Denny definitely put some hard defense on Paul George and kind of take away his importance for this offense. And Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Kuzma, man, I definitely want to see Kyle Kuzma utilize his frame, man, and definitely play hard against Kawhi Leonard, because look, Kawhi Leonard's that defender, man, and that 3-and-D guy where he can stretch the floor and defend at high level. So that is definitely a matchup. And I'm definitely intrigued to see if Kawhi Leonard could put the clamps on Kyle Kuzma, man, because obviously Kyle Kuzma, usually you can pencil him in as a 20 points a game scorer. But Kawhi, man, you know, so those are the matchups I'm looking at, and I'm kind of going to reiterate the 3 main matchups I'm really looking at. And I'm not going to look at point guard because James Harden is going to be a handful for Tyus Jones, man. But Paul George, how Denny Avia plays him, I think is key to playing the Clippers close. Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Kuzma is a matchup I'm definitely looking at. And the second unit matchup, the 1-2 punches of both us and the Clippers, you know, Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell versus Corey Kispert and Jordan Poole. I think, you know, if we can win the battle of the benches, you could possibly see a close game like we did last night, and maybe even a win, because we played them well last night. And I'm trying to tell you, that 1-2 punch of Corey Kispert and Jordan Poole in the second unit, man, I mean, that is money, straight money, dude. So again, appreciate you guys, man. So again, tonight the Washington Wizards played the LA Clippers in LA in the second of a back-to-back. And it's at 10:30. So definitely show your support, watch the game. I know it's late, so pour yourself a drink, enjoy your night, and watch the Wizards hopefully try to get this dub against the LA Clippers. So definitely show your support again at 10:30. West Coast time, man. Or no, it's going to 10:30 Eastern time, but obviously because they're on the West Coast. So definitely watch and support this team. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and that's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV's channels app. So again, me and my guy, the real Ed Oliver, man, we will be going live on Sunday to recap tonight's game, and we will be going live Monday night following the Utah Jazz game. So definitely rock with us Sunday night and Monday night because we're going to chop it up like we always do. So everybody, I appreciate everybody, man. And I always tell you guys, man, this channel is successful. We have grown because of you guys, man. We have a really vibrant fan base for this channel, man, and we appreciate you guys, man. A lot of good dialogue, and it's all love at the end of the day. I know you guys didn't like that grade, man, but look, I love you guys, man. Definitely enjoy your weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we will see you guys on Sunday night to recap the Clippers matchup against our beloved Washington Wizards. So hail to the Wizards and peace. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Enjoy.